Hey there, I am D. Yes, we all remember Hellraiser, don't we? The movie, based on the short story by Clive Barker and even directed by him, about some guy opening a portal to another dimension where he played S&M games that got a little out of hand. But then he came back and tried to reassemble himself. And as is often the case, if a movie is successful, there has to be a sequel. But when you make a sequel, be sure that whoever you get as your writer or director didn't miss the point of the original. We're first being introduced to some World War II guy solving the puzzle box. If people are turned into Cenobites the moment they solve the puzzle box, why didn't this happen to Frank in the first movie? We're then reintroduced to Kirsty, who wakes up in a mental hospital.
Welcome back.
Where am I?
This is the Chennard Institute. It's a psychiatric hospital.
Psychiatric?
Remember? You and your boyfriend?
Steve.
Don't worry about him, he's okay. We sent him home hours ago. He had some story to tell.
Sure, the boyfriend probably told him about people with strange body piercings, dressed in robes, disappearing in rays of light, a man changing into a dragon-like thing, and of course... that thing. Surely if he told people at a mental hospital about all this, they'd have no reason whatsoever to keep him there. I'm sure they only wrote this in because they had no further need for the character.
Would you talk to me? And please, this time, no demon fairy tales, huh?
See? If they don't even believe Kirsty when she tells them, why would they believe her boyfriend? We then see a cop searching the house from the last movie, where he finds the dead bodies of the people Frank killed, where a dead body does a surprise attack, causing the cop to shoot the body without actually pulling the trigger. You figured that one out. Other than that, they also find a bloody mattress, the same mattress upon which Julia died last time.
Wait. That mattress, you've got to destroy that mattress. See, Julia died on it, and she can come back now like Frank.
Yeah, bear that in mind for a moment. Next we're in an entirely different movie.
A puzzle, and while the paths of the brain are plainly visible, its ways deceptively apparent, its destinations are unknown, its secrets still secrets.
I hate to be mistaken for that guy, but this will be our main villain, Dr. Chennard. Upon seeing that the hospital is only a model, we cut to Kirsty, who discovers the hospital's resident mute.
Sad, huh? She's been here 6 months. She's a complete mystery. No family, no visitors. She's completely alone. A nurse named her Tiffany.
Now I will say that I like Tiffany. Why? Well, since she never talks, she'll never tell anyone anything about herself. We don't know her real name, her history, or why she's obsessed with puzzles. So it would make sense if a girl who's a complete mystery in and of herself would solve the puzzle of which its true nature is still a mystery as well. In fact, this whole movie should have been about Tiffany. But we're focused on Kirsty instead. What can you do? So Kirsty is then trying to get some sleep, but can't sleep because... because Frank decided to haunt her. And what makes you think Kirsty would want to help you?
Kirsty? Kirsty, you all right?
I had a visitor.
What? Here? Who?
It was my father.
Your father? How could you possibly think that? You've met Frank before in the first movie, so you know what he looks like without his skin. How can you not tell it's the same guy? And even if you can't recognize him to be Frank, what still makes you think it's your father?
Kirsty, your father's dead.
My father's dead, and he's alone, and he's still suffering.
Did we really have to shove aside the mute girl in favor of that? Abandon all hope. We then hear Kirsty recapping the events of the first movie, which serves only two purposes. One, to waste another 10 minutes of our lives, and two, so the movie can contradict itself.
Somehow, I don't know. Frank came back to life.
Didn't you say earlier that...
That mattress, you've got to destroy that mattress. See, Julia died on it, and she can come back now like Frank.
If you don't know how Frank was brought back, how would you know how they can bring Julia back? So Gennard is then found visiting the deeper levels.
Please! Get them off me!
Where Arkham Asylum is located, apparently. Anyway, we then see Gennard taking one of the Arkham inmates home, where he managed to get him to cut himself, resulting in Julia's return. Why do I suddenly crave for pizza? The other doctor, having witnessed these events, informs Kirsty about this and helps her get out. All the while, Julia restores her body in the same way Frank did in the previous movie. Hang on. 1, 2, 3... 8? Plus that other guy, that makes 9. Frank needed only 5 himself. So Gennard leaves the place, leaving room for Kirsty and co to enter. Here we find out that Gennard has several puzzle boxes of his own and even owns a picture of that World War II guy. Convenient. Apparently, recognizing the guy, she takes the picture with him. Which makes no sense. How could she possibly recognize Pinhead in this guy, and yet fail to recognize Frank in that skinless guy? Anywho, that doctor, not recognizing Julia as that skinless thing from before, is being killed, making it a total of 10 bodies Julia needed to restore herself. I know horror movie sequels have to be gorier than the last one, but this is really pushing it.
They didn't tell you, did they, Kirsty? They changed the rules of the fairy tale. I'm no longer just the wicked stepmother. Now I'm the evil queen.
There is no evil person who would think of themselves as evil. Well, not unless it's a children's movie. Which is exactly what this movie isn't! So Julia beats Kirsty down just when Gennard returns with Tiffany at his side. She's then given the puzzle box, which she of course solves.
She's done it.
She certainly has.
It's coming.
It certainly is.
I love how she seems so nonchalant about this whole thing. In fact, this whole scene seems so surreal because at this point the audience can relate more to the villains than to the girl. So I ask again, why isn't she the protagonist? Why do you have to force Kirsty into this movie and turn her into a complete idiot in the process? If even I can do better, then there's something seriously wrong with you. Well, you know the drill. The walls open as if they were gates, and they come.
No, it is not hands that call us. It is desire.
So? It's always desire that calls you one way or another. The line should have been, "The desire is not hers." Who wrote this? So the Cenobites return, for whatever reason, while Kirsty wakes up and seeing the open walls, she decides to enter one of MC Escher's drawings. Why the hell not? But she's not alone, as Tiffany has stepped in as well and found her way into a circus? If this is hell, it would make perfect sense. But it's not what this is supposed to be. Sure, it's called Hellraiser, but Barker didn't literally mean hell.
Help my daughter. 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 Can you help her? These puzzles are consuming her life. Help me, Doctor. Can you help my daughter?
I see. She was raised by a fridge mom. Meanwhile, elsewhere in Escher's landscape...
Ah, Kirsty. We thought we'd lost you.
So sweet of you to come back.
How can it send us back, child? We're already here. And so are you.
Okay...
I've come for my father!
But he is in his own hell, child, and quite unreachable.
I don't believe you!
And I can't believe that you still believe that even was your father back there. Alright, the odd couple is here too.
Come. I have such sights to show you.
We have such sights to show you.
Oh my God.
This is mine. The God that sent me back. The God I serve in this world and yours.
Since when does she serve a god? She never hinted to be serving a god in the first movie. Mind you, this takes place only days after the events of the first movie. Hardly enough time for her to convert. Anyway, Julia pushes Gennard into the machine and he comes out as a Cenobite himself. Meanwhile, Kirsty finds Tiffany and tries to motivate her to help.
Look, we're alone in all of this. And we have to help each other. We have to help each other. Yeah? Yeah?
The #1 way to make yourself look less like an idiot is by making other people look like bigger idiots. Bitch. Eventually, Kirsty finds her father's place down there. I would ask why that place would even be there, but by now we know that the filmmakers took the title of the first movie a bit too literally.
Tiffany, I'm sorry, but I have to go in there. Look, I want you to wait for me, but if I'm not back soon, real soon, I want you to get out, and I want you to get home.
Sure, leave a mute who can't call for help outside. Alone. In an area where its inhabitants know no distinction between pain and pleasure. You'll make a wonderful mother someday. So Kirsty walks through the door, apparently entering one of Max Payne's nightmares.
What's the matter, Kirsty? It's only Frank. It's only Uncle Frank.
Oh no.
Didn't you get my message?
Really? That's supposed to be a twist? I recognize that skinless guy for who he was from the very beginning. Exactly how stupid do you expect your audience to be? So Kirsty sets the place on fire. Somehow. Frank tears his own skin off. For some reason. The fire stops abruptly. You figure that out. And Julia has caught Tiffany. Big surprise. Of course, despite being a, quote, evil queen, unquote, Julia kills Frank, and in the process she allows the two girls to escape. Well, why not? The protagonist is an idiot, so why not the antagonist? So the girls run through the labyrinth, eventually coming across some kind of vacuum, giving Julia enough time to catch up. One, that skin was grown on her. It's not a suit, so it couldn't be torn off that easily. Two, even if it could, why would that vacuum suck up Julia and yet leave her skin behind? And three, how would Tiffany know that thing is really the puzzle box? I mean, if Kirsty saw that thing and recognized it for what it was, it makes sense because she actually witnessed the change. But Tiffany? Unless this movie was supposed to be about Tiffany alone, and Kirsty was only added in later in some desperate attempt to link this movie to the first one. Huh. That would explain a lot of things. So the girls run away, somehow ending up back at the hospital. They move out to investigate and find out that other patients in the hospital have solved a few of these boxes themselves, allowing room for Chenard the Cenobite to arrive. Presumably, this girl hasn't said a word in years. And the best she can think of as her first word ever is shit? It's not very profound, but on the other hand, it is unexpected. So Chenard becomes a stop-motion puppet as he begins to kill everyone in the hospital. I'm beginning to understand why so many people distrust shrinks. So the girls run away and... Oops. How to get out of that situation?
Time to play.
Wait.
No more deals, Kirsty.
Just information.
Go on. What is this? Someone else, you think, escaped us? Like Frank?
No, this one didn't escape. And it's you.
If you're so sharp-sighted to see that guy in Pinhead, why were you so short-sighted when you saw that skinless guy? I'm sorry, I still can't get over that. So she gets the Cenobites to remember who they were before, and just in time.
Ah, skip it.
So Chenard turns Pinhead human again, for whatever reason, only to kill him. Still, it gave the two girls a chance to run away. Again. Anyone else sensing a pattern?
I have to go back. I have to finish the puzzle. Tiffany, what?
Why don't you ask for my real name, you bitch? So Tiffany returns to the labyrinth, picks up that spike, runs to that spinning thing in the center and begins solving the puzzle. Of course, Chennard catches up, so... My name's Kate, damn it! Chennard heads towards Tiffany while Kirsty runs away. Considering everything else, why not? Blah blah blah, I'm the bad guy, blah blah blah, I'm giving the cavalry enough time to arrive, blah blah blah. Oh, that's unexpected. Then again, we saw Julia being killed, leaving only her skin behind. And Kirsty ran away and Chennard was stalling for time. Yeah, even if you can't put 2 and 2 together, I'm sure you can figure this one out. With Chennard distracted, Tiffany can solve the puzzle. This somehow kills Chennard, upon which Julia reveals herself to be Kirsty. I know, big shock. They leave the place just before it implodes.
Oswald that Enswald.
Yeah, not quite, I'm afraid. With Chennard dead, people are hired to empty his house when one of the movers finds the bloody mattress. And none of those who boxed everything even questioned the mattress. Never mind.
Hey, take a look at this.
Weird. But who cares? The movie is over. How does it fare? It depends. Sure, it contradicts the first movie, at times even contradicts itself. And sure, it took the idea of hell way too literally. Still, this movie tried to tell its own story rather than simply rehashing the first movie, as sequels often do. So movies like these only come around once in a blue moon. So for that reason alone, this movie deserves some respect. This was D. I'm signing off.